Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this subject, Social Studies, Grade 8A and 8B. Your teacher here, Miss Michelle Joy. This video will serve as a makeup class, especially for the students who weren't able to attend our virtual class. Also, will serve as a recap for the students who were able to attend the class. So class, before we proceed with our online discussion, I would like us to have a short recap or review of the last topics that we have discussed before your semester break. So the first one is, what is the difference between a right, a duty, and a responsibility? Right means something that you are entitled to. Example, freedom of speech. Next, duty, a responsibility, task, or action that someone is required to perform by law. Example, serve on jury. And responsibility means something that you should do. Example, voting. We also discussed about the duties of Thai people. So these are some of the duties of Thai people. Thus, what is the objectives of our lesson for today? So students must be able to know what global community is. So at the end of the lesson or at the end of our online discussion, I expect that most of you already understood what global community is. Class, the topic that we are going to discuss today is about a member of a global community. And these are the words to learn that we will be encountering all throughout our discussion. Now, these words are very important because they will help us to have a better understanding about our topics for today. Please repeat after me so you can still practice your reading skills and speaking skills even if you're just at home. Are you ready now? Let's start reading. Number one, global. Number two, member. Number three, economic. Number four, social. And number five, political. So let's discuss these words one by one. What do you mean by the word global? It means worldwide, universal, international, intercontinental, world, comprehensive, general, planetary, cosmopolitan. It means everything that is inside the earth. Next, member. What do you mean by the word member? Members, associates, parts, personnel, faculty, fellows, membership, sections, links, components, and elements. The third word is economic. It means economical, commercial, fiscal, financial, monetary, profitable, budgetary, pecuniary, remunerative, and business. Next, social. It means sociable, public, gregarious, societal, companionable, convivial, party, civil, communal, and friendly. And the last word that we have is political. It means governmental, state, civic, public, civil, partisan, constitutional, legislative, bureaucratic, and party. So these are the five words that can help us better understand our topic. Now let's read them again. Global, member, economic, social, and political.
Globalization is a widely discussed topic. It is therefore not all that easy to explain such a complicated term in simple words. Let's start from the beginning with the background to globalization. Advances in technology, such as mobile phones, aeroplanes, telephones, and the Internet, have made the growth of transport and communication networks possible. Amongst other things, this means that people and countries can exchange information and goods more quickly and in a less complicated way. This process is called globalization. Globalization comes from globe and means the worldwide coming together of countries and nations. Let's look at an example. Companies used to manufacture products in their home countries, just like the companies Profi TV and Supercolor, who produce televisions in country A. Their products are in direct competition with each other, but both companies pay the same salaries and production costs. They have the same customers, use similar suppliers, and sell televisions at similar prices. In short, the same conditions apply to both companies. So far, so good. Due to technical, cultural, and economic developments that have come about through globalization, other companies which manufacture products under different conditions can now offer their products in country A too. That's why a company from country B can sell televisions here at a lower price because they were produced for less. The local firms Supercolor and Profi TV have to react to withstand the competition. And so the world grows closer together, and there is an active exchange of goods between countries. More affordable products are available for more people. However, not only does an exchange of products and economic goods take place, but also of services, knowledge, cultural goods, and even languages. All of these individual elements are closely linked and influence each other. But where there is light, there is also shadow. Because of globalization and this intense exchange of goods, people and the environment often suffer. If a company decides to move production to an economically disadvantaged country, people in industrialized countries lose their jobs. At the same time, job opportunities open up to many locals in the economically disadvantaged country. Many people in these countries work for very little money in comparison to those in industrialized countries. Therefore, they often remain poor and more often than not do not have sufficient insurance, social insurance, or health insurance cover. A further disadvantage of globalization is ecological problems such as climate change. The use of aeroplanes, ships, and lorries to transport goods over international borders is constantly on the increase. This causes more carbon dioxide to be released into the atmosphere, which, in turn, is the main cause of global warming. Even national environmental standards are ignored. This is a further cost factor in the worldwide international site competition, which should be kept as low as possible to be attractive for a company. There are therefore many sides to globalization which affect almost all aspects of life, causing me to think that the chain of positive and negative effects will continue to grow further. What's important is to realize that globalization itself is neither good nor bad. It just depends how people deal with all the new possibilities in the future.
Now, class, let us discuss about globalization. So what is globalization? It is interconnectedness among what? Among people, their ideas, from the entire and total system. Now, there are three types of globalization. So the first one is social. It means a measure of how easily information and ideas pass between people in their own country and between different countries. It includes access to internet and social media networks. The second one is political, the amount of political cooperation there is between countries. And the last one, economic, countries that trade with many others and few trade barriers are economically globalized.
This video will explain the impacts of globalization. The evidence of globalization is everywhere, but it is important to recognize that not everyone is in favor of it. Some groups argue that the TNCs, or the transitional corporations, are responsible for many of the world's environmental problems. These problems include global warming, the depletion of natural resources, and the production of harmful chemicals. Some groups also claim that the TNCs take advantage of developing countries by polluting industries in their borders, lodging their tropical forests, and exploiting their labors. Other concerns include the loss of local culture, the tendency for developed countries to interfere in the affairs of developing countries, and a reduced power of governments to control economic activity. However, there are people who support globalization and suggest it benefits individuals in the global community. The corner of the globalization claimed that it results in faster economic growth, quicker access to new technology, cheaper imports, and greater competition. Supporters of globalization argue that the globalization will make the world economy more efficient and will continue to create hundreds of millions of jobs, mainly in developing countries.
Now, class, let us discuss about global community. So, global community is defined as people or nations of the world. That's why it's called global, okay, from the word globe. It is considered as closely connected or interconnected. We have a relationship with each other by modern telecommunications and as being economically, socially, and politically interdependent. So here are some examples of a global community. So the first one is ASEAN Community or Association of Southeast Asian Nations. So there are 10 nations in this community. The second one is European Union. So basically these countries are countries in Europe, and of course United Nations from different parts of the world. Now class, is global community important? Yes, it is. So now let us discuss about the importance of global community. So it is important to learn about the beliefs and values of other people in the world and to learn how to respect our differences. Understand connections between them and our country, even if we have uh, the same religion, even if we do not have the same religion. So we are interconnected with each other. Be an informed member of the global community because it is very important for a member of a community to know his or her duties and responsibilities so he can do it better. Next, today the world's countries depend on one another for goods, raw materials, and markets to sell goods, resulting in interdependence among nations. That's why we do import and exports.
Welcome to Introduction to Global Citizenship. Do you think of yourself as a global citizen? Who is a global citizen? And what is global citizenship? Some people say that global citizenship doesn't exist because there's no such thing as a global passport. Others say that to think of yourself as a global citizen is to know that your actions within your own home, neighborhood, city, or country impact and are impacted by global forces. This course will help you develop your own ideas about what it means to be a global citizen. You are asked to consider the importance of learning about inequalities that affect your immediate community and nation, and how they are related to inequalities in geographically distant locations. We will discuss questions such as, what can national citizenship teach us about global citizenship? How do economic, political, and socio-cultural forces of globalization impact people's fundamental human rights? How do global politics affect people's access to shelter? Are we aware of the potential local, national, and global impacts of our own and other people's actions in a world globally interconnected? How are our choices about the foods we purchase or the clothes we wear are linked to what is happening in our neighborhood, country, or across the world?
Now class, what does it mean to be global? So in this one, we are going to study the different characteristics of being a global member of a community. So the first one, being curious about other parts of the world, but also be respectful of the differences of each other. Next, living peacefully with one another. Next, celebrating diversity. Next, opening your mind, listening to all kinds of music, giving to others, respecting differences, which is very important, trying different food, experiencing other traditions, which is very exciting. That's why traveling is really good because you get to know the culture of and beliefs of other people from other parts of the world. Traveling to places near and far, And recognizing your language is just one of thousands spoken around the world. That's why you have to learn how to speak English because that is the universal language. And the last one, being a citizen of the world. So these are all the characteristics of what does it mean to be global. Just to summarize our topic, so what do you mean by global citizen? Global citizen is a person who is knowledgeable about people, customs, and cultures, customs, tradition, norms, beliefs beyond one's own world. So they understand the interdependence that holds promise and carry for the future of the global community. And lastly, they are committed to combine learning with living a sustainable lifestyle. So what do I consider as a global citizen? So you are considered as a global citizen if you ask questions like stereotypes question, consider what people have in common, your religion, of course, your beliefs. Celebrate diversity. Diversity means differences. Engage with diverse people. It doesn't mean that they are black, they are white, and you are brown. You have different colors. Means you're not going to treat each other well. No, you have to be respectful of other people regarding of their nationality. Next, apply critical thinking skills to global issues. You have to be open-minded of the things that are happening globally. Think about causes and consequences of injustice and inequalities, and assume responsibility of global human environment and take action for change. If you want to see change, then you have to change your beliefs, okay? You have to make yourself better. So these are the things that you have to consider to be called a global citizen. Now, class, for your activity, just write what is being asked. Write 5 characteristics of a good citizen of the world or characteristics of a global member of the world. So A, B, C, D, E. You write your answer there and please submit it to me in Google Classroom. Now, class, we now come to the end of our online discussion. If you have any question, you want to say something about our topic, if you want to ask something about the next topic that we are going to discuss, please feel free to call me or send me a line message in my personal line account. Until then, I'll see you again next time and stay safe, everyone. Thank you very much.